If you want to retire, you've got to do this one thing. And all right, so I'm reading a monthly labor report from 1990. A lady named Beth Harrison is a economist. I'm not sure who she's with, but she's looking at BLS numbers and looking at expenditures from working and older people, either working or non-working, i.e. retired. And it's very interesting. And she's looking at the data set from the BLS, the Bureau of Labor Statistics, Consumer Expenditure Survey from 1986 and 1987. And it's very interesting. I'm telling you right now, the very interesting thing, the first thing that jumped out at me is the people with incomes below 15,000. Again, this is 1986, 1987 numbers. The people with income below 15,000 spent 9% of their income on cash contributions, charitable endeavors. Isn't that crazy? 6% of their entire expenditures went to cash contributions, which is significantly more than people who are still working. I thought that was amazing. So people are not running out of money because they were the lowest of they're divided into threes, all right? A third. The lowest third of income spent significantly more relative to their income on charitable giving. Very interesting. And those for retirees, the people who were working spent more percentage-wise of their income for cash contributions, but a heck of a lot less than the people who are retired. Inherently, they were not running out of money. If you're spending 9% of your income, I essentially a tithe to charitable contributions. Very interesting. All right. Another thing that is interesting is even people in the second third, all right? Ooh, saw that traffic. People in the second third also were spending more for charitable contributions than people who were working. So if you're retired and the lowest 2/3 of income, dude, what are you doing up there? Your charitable contributions were more than people who were working. Crazy. Inherently, these people are not running out of money, even though they're in the bottom 2/3 of income. Isn't that crazy? And the answer, of course, is yes, it is. All right, so that's one thing that jumped out at me. And so inherently, people aren't running out of money, man. There's just no two ways around that. Part two, right? Why did I do that? Weird. I'm going to Starbucks. It's 7 o'clock, 7:23 to work on my book, and I got up at 4:43. I go to bed around 10. Usually what I do is we watch a show with my wife for about an hour. I read my book for about an hour, and I'll usually fall asleep about 10 or so. And that's exactly, and so I get up pretty early. Now we got all these people just puttering along, even though it's rush hour. Anyway, part two, the people with a mortgage were still working. The people without a mortgage were retired. I cannot stress this enough. If you had no mortgage, you retired. If you had a mortgage, you were still working. It mattered not your income of the thirds. It mattered not. I'm telling you, man, all that mattered is if you had a mortgage or not. The people with a mortgage were still working. The people without a mortgage were retired. It literally came down to having a mortgage. I'm just telling you right now, it mattered not your income. It mattered, I mean, in this case, it's people under the age of 74, by the way. So I can't say it didn't matter your age because they didn't look at people over 75. They just looked at people 62 to 74. It mattered not your income. It only mattered whether you had a mortgage or not. The percentage of people who had a mortgage, who were working, were significantly higher than the percentage of people who had no mortgage, who were retired. Dude, if you want to retire, you just got to pay off your mortgage, man. It's just that simple. And if you've had some serious, like I talk to a lot of clients and people say, should I pay off my mortgage? A lot of times like, no, because they refinanced back in 2021 or 2020. And they're only paying like 2.5 to 3.5. It's awful hard to say you should refinance your mortgage or not refinance, to pay it off when you're only paying 3 if you're getting 5% in a money market rate account. It's hard to say it. Now, emotionally, it's different. Emotionally, dude, I get it. I think about this every day. Should I just pay off my doggone mortgage? But I know what happens to do that is you do that hurts your ability for the money that you've accumulated to grow. I mean, if you had, just for simplicity, $100,000 bucks, so let's say your mortgage is $100,000 bucks, and you had $100,000 and it grew at 25%, that's $25,000 of gains. All right. If you had a mortgage that's only cost you 3%, that's $3,000 of loss essentially. So I mean, and then that 25%. I mean, look, you're not getting 25%, but you did last year and you did the year before. These are just facts. It's awful hard to sit there and say, oh man, you should pay off your mortgage if you're only paying 3%, especially if you can get 5% just sitting in a money market account. It's one of those things that's like, but emotionally, I get it. The idea of not having a mortgage is pretty sweet, man. But if you had some serious gains for the last couple of years and you're just sick and tired of the mortgage, and let's just say you got to keep working because you need to make the income to pay off your mortgage, man, just take some gains off the table. Oh, but we've had losses since Trump got inaugurated. Oh, God, I hate, dude. You've had so many gains since 2017. It's just the idea that the stock market, oh my goodness, the Biden economy is based on the stock market, or the Trump economy is based on the stock market. It's just freaking idiotic. It's stupid. It drives me up the wall. I've always said I hated that actually when Republicans do it. I hate when Democrats do it. Like, oh, the stock market's up, thus Trump good. Oh, the stock market's down, thus Trump bad. It's so freaking stupid, and it drives me up the wall actually. But anyway, so if you have gains in the portfolio, all right, and we're talking big gains people have had, man, why not take some of the gains off the table and pay off the mortgage? Now, obviously, if it's in a Roth, you don't have to pay tax on those gains, most likely. But if it's in a brokerage account, you might have to. And, is that worth a capital gain hit to pay off a mortgage? I don't know. But, man, I'm just telling you right now, if you want to retire, have no mortgage. It's literally, there's no better way to look at retirement than a mortgage, man. If you have a mortgage, it can be hard to retire because you need the income to pay off the mortgage. It's just that simple. Now, if your portfolio can pay that mortgage, more power to you, man. More power to you. But for a lot of people, it can't. A lot of people just don't have that kind of scratch that their portfolio can generate enough cash to pay off their mortgage. They just don't. And as such, they're working to pay off their mortgage. And if you really retirement is something you're really considering, man, I tell you, man, I would highly consider paying off my mortgage and just going to the great blue sky. Blue sky. Hey, blue sky. Follow me on Blue Sky. That's so freaking stupid. I'm on Blue Sky because Elon really bothers me. Anyway, all right, love your thoughts, God. And let me know if you got a mortgage or not. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Did you carry a mortgage in retirement? How's it going for it? Look, I'm not criticizing. I mean, I'm hoping not to carry a mortgage in retirement. We shall see. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. And if you paid off your mortgage, that freed you up to retire? Let's say, either way, I'd love to hear what's going on with you guys. All right, God bless.